Beautiful morning to you, sport fans, wherever you are. This is Global TV, coming your way live and direct from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. It's time for us to take a look at sport, talking about stories that are making headlines in the world of sport. We talk about much money signing deal for the English Premier League. We'll also be looking at the crawling starting point, the Super Eagles of Nigeria for the race for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, plus the Nigeria Professional Football League is in progress. This and many more stories will only come your way on Global TV. Our man David Oko will be joining us live to take a look at the Super Falcons versus Cape Verde chances of Nigeria to qualify for the All-Africa Games, as well as the Africa Women Championship in Morocco. Tennis and basketball will come your way on the program. I'm being joined this morning by my very good friend, a sport analyst right here in the nation's capital, talking about Zanik Aminu will be joining us on the program. Let's take a break. When we come back, Aminu is here with us in the studio. When we come back, we will look at the developmental and, of course, find solutions to the ongoing problems in the national team, talking about Nigeria crawling, the beginning of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Don't go away. This is Talk Sport and Global TV, and I am Clinton, welcoming you on board. If you're just joining us, the program is Talk Sport on Global TV, and I'm glad to welcome Vani in the studio this beautiful morning. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm glad to be here. Hopefully we could discuss more on sport and the situation of sport in Nigeria and see how we could move the game forward.
Of course, moving the game forward is our primary objective here on Global TV. It's our duty to give sport that all you need to take sport to the next level. Let's start with stories that are making headlines, talking about the Premier League, which has a deal of so much money. And of course, in Nigeria here, our professional league is also having the feel of the sponsorship. And of course, Global TV is also going to have the National League. But let me tell you this morning that the Premier League has agreed a new record of 6.7 billion domestic television deal for Sky TV to show up to 270 live games of a season. The deal includes BBC continue to highlight a match of the top flight says the deal, which covers 4 years from 2025 to 2026 season, is the largest sporting media right deal with the site. Of course, the Saturday 3 p.m. back out will remain in place, but even the 2 p.m. Sunday kickoff time for television. The BBC deal include Football Focus Plus in additional digital right for its online game. Sky has also been awarded 4 of the 5 package and will show a minimum of 215 matches a season, including Saturday's matches, which kicks off in 5 p.m. I mean, let's come back here and see huge money invested in sport, especially football. And I'm glad to let you know that even here in Nigeria, StarTime has also signed a deal to promote our own professional football league. And the good news this morning is that Global TV is also working closely to make sure that we take off from the Premier League, talking about the National League in the country. Now, if we start having football matches on television, what does that mean to fans?
We could see what's happening in England. They have, because their games are shown on TV, they have more money rights, more TV rights for teams. So more money to more teams. So if you bring it down to Nigeria, by the time we have more coverage on our football teams, more broadcast, we have more sponsorship deal, it means more money will come back to the league. It means more money to the teams. So it means more development for the pitch, more development for the teams, more training facilities. It will still trickle down to the grassroots because it means the football clubs start developing their junior teams. So I think this is a good step for the National League. But we'll still encourage for more sponsorship, more TV rights, more broadcasting, so we'll receive more money into the league. Looking at England, we could see they've signed a £6.5 million deal. That's a huge sum of money. As at last season, it was around 2.5, where each of the 20 teams from the EPL took home 84 million pounds. Each of them. That's apart from where you stand on the team, where you finish from the log, where your performance. Just that you play in the EPL, you take home 84 million pounds. Now, if that happens in our National League, imagine we have this huge amount of money coming to the National League. I feel it's going to be a great development for our football league in Nigeria, and also the sport generally in Nigeria will grow bigger and bigger.
It is expected that this new deal will help the development of grassroots football in the country. Let me tell you this morning that the Premier League says the new agreement, which is a year long, is 4% rise in the live right value compared to the previous deal, and will provide financial certainty for clubs throughout the professional football until at least 2029. Still talking about football, I tell you that Manchester City is not a happy club. This morning, report reaching us that Manchester City has been charged by the Football Association for failing to control their players in their Sunday's 3-3 Premier League draw with Tottenham. Players surrendered referee Semin Poku when he awarded a free kick to City late in the stoppage time after it looks like Jack Carlson was thrown on goal. Hoppers initially indicated City had the advantage and waved play on, but halted the match once the pass was played. City have until Thursday, the 7th of December, to respond to these charges. An FA statement said the defending champion failed to ensure their players do not behave in a way which is improper. And that brings us to looking at sometime you play in the pitch and the points are deducted on the table. Yeah. So we're looking at fans as well as players on professional attitude in the beautiful game.
Well, a case study of Man City's game against Tottenham. For me, I would say you can't take away emotion from the game. The game was in the dying minutes, and Man City, having drawn their last two matches, needed to win. Admittedly, the ref made an error. But for the players, I feel it was in the heat of the game and emotions was running high. They needed to win, having drawn their last two games. Yeah, but I know even in your emotion, you shouldn't attack the ref because they are still the controllers of the game. So for Man City, we understand that there was emotion and it was running high, but they should learn to control their emotions on the pitch. With the new rules in EPL now, we've seen how the game is trying to tackle players' emotion from where a foul is blown, you complain and you get a yellow card. So for the game, I feel Man City should just accept their charges, and moving forward, they should learn to control their players more. But we will still keep saying, you can't take away emotions from the game. And that is my own view from the game.
All right, it's Talk Sport right here, Nigeria's capital city. It appears our man is standing by now to give us details of the story. I'm talking about David Oko. David will be looking at the national female team on the verge of qualifying for Morocco 2024 Africa Women Championship. The girls were at the MKO Abiola and trashed their opponent by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and will be traveling for Cape Verde for the second match. David is on the line. David, good morning. A lovely morning to you, David. Unfortunately, okay, it looks like we've gotten David. David, good morning once again. I can hear David, I hope, at his end, give us much hitch this morning. I guess he's hearing me, but I can't hear him. Let's hope that he calls us back and so that we can be able to go through. David was coming in to look at the second leg between the Super Falcons and Cape Verde. The visitors were in Nigeria last Thursday, and we trashed them by 5 goals to nothing, giving Nigeria an outright advantage into the next leg. You think it's possible for Cape Verde to turn the table against Nigeria, having defeated them by 5 goals to nothing in the first game?
I I don't see the possibility. I think they will still lose at home, but it may not be as much as 5-0, but I feel they will still lose because the Super Falcons I'm confident in them. They perform very well at home, and I believe away they are going to beat Cape Verde again.
Super Falcons, reigning African champions, having won the continental title a record of 9 times, and they are planning to head to Morocco, but they must turn the table against Cape Verde in their own backyard. We're told that the girls from Cape Verde are doing everything possible, but from every indication, it's a hard knock to crack. Because to beat the girls that defeated you 5 will be something else. But in football, we are told that what is on paper could not be what will be practically on the pitch. Let's take a break. When we come back, we go straight to stories that are making headlines on behalf. David will join us live and direct right here on the program TalkSport. Global TV coming your way live and direct from Nigeria's capital city. Please don't go away. Glad to have you back on the program. It's TalkSport right here on Global TV from Nigeria's capital city. My guest Aminu is in the studio with us, and we are looking at the media right for much leagues across the globe. And we're glad to let you know that in the country, of course, we already have one major media in charge of the Nigeria Professional Football League, and Global TV is also eyeing to take over one of the second group of football development in the country. But our man David is already standing by to tell us more about the chances of the Super Falcons qualifying for the 2024 Africa Women Championship. David, once again, good morning and welcome to Global TV.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be on Talk Sports on Global TV this morning. Good morning, Mr. Clinton and the viewers. Like you rightly put it, it was a 5-star performance from the Super Falcons here in Abuja about a week ago when they dispatched the Cape Verde girls by 5 goals to 0. Esther Okoronkwo, Chen Nakano all ran riot in Abuja. But all attentions, are switching to today's game. Today's game is going to be kicking off 6 p.m. West African time, and that's 4 p.m. local time in Praia. The girls are already there. They did arrive on Saturday in the early hours of the morning and have been training. They've also had some people come to check up on them. That's the Nigerian community there in Cape Verde, led by Elder John Paul. And he also pledged, their unwavering support for the Falcons after visiting them. So the girls are ready, super ready to play. When the coach, Justin Madugu, the interim coach, was asked, if the Super Falcons will be more of the same of what we had in Abuja, he said yes, and why not? That there's no need to change, despite the handsome scoreline of 5-0, that the girls do not need to change, and nothing will be left to chances as the girls are fired up, to qualify for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco 2024. Already they have one leg in with that 5-0 defeat. I heard you saying in the studio, what are the chances? Well, the chances are very good. I think before a team overturns a 5-0 deficit against an illustrious opponent like the Super Falcons is going to take too much. Even Cape Verde know this game is just it's an academic game for them at the moment.
Still look at the girls in the first game here in the country. A total of about 4 top players pull out of this game, and the return leg will be a very, very significant one to both teams. From what you are hearing from the camp, are the girls coming back? The 4 very important players that left the team, are they coming back, or is the coach saying that can still go and execute this remaining game without the likes of some of his best legs?
No, that has been settled even before the first leg. We knew who we had on ground, and the coach knew what he wanted to use. You know, in the pre-match press conference ahead of the first leg, I'd asked him, how he's going to go about, the game devoid of his best legs. That assist party former or no one knew the right back's name now, Michel Alozie. And a lot pulled out, due to one reason or the other. Actually, Plumper to mention, but a few. But he said, well, the girls that are here, they are very good. And, that's the reaching thing about the Falcons, because it's enterprising that you have players who can come in off the bench, new invitees, everyone raring to go. In a local parlance, you say in the absence of Oyibo, Albino represents. So in the absence of the star girls, others have stepped up the plate. Like I mentioned, Esther Korunkwo, who scored twice. Gift Monday also scored in that first leg. So you can see that in the absence of this best leg, the ones that are available have stepped up the gas, stepped up to the plate, and they are doing well. So, there's no worry about personnel. What we have on ground, we use it to prosecute the game. And of course, we've won handsomely in the first leg, and we're looking forward to finishing the job today evening in Praia.
Girls who are set for that qualification, I guess Mr. David says that the girls are already through. But David, let's also look at the girls. They will also be in action for the Olympic qualifiers. They have an upper task against the Cameroonian girls called the Lioness of the Indomitable Lions in faraway Yaoundé in Cameroon. A win will be an advantage for the girls on their way to Paris 2024 Olympics. Do you see it as an easy task for the Super Falcons against the Lioness of Cameroon?
Not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination. Any side in Africa coming up against the Indomitable Lionesses know they would have their hands filled, The recent times we've met Cameroon, I think we've killed through, although the games have been very close. We beat them in Morocco at the WAFCON by a goal to nil. And this is going to be over 2 legs, the qualification game around for the Olympics. And it's going to be a tough one, especially there in Yaoundé in Cameroon. So the girls will be fired up for that one. It's next year, 2024. So we hope that by that time we can have our very best legs. No disrespect to the ones who are playing now, but you always want to put out your best legs there. And we hope that we can have them, take to Yaoundé and prosecute the return leg here in Nigeria. So I'm confident that when we come around 2024, we'll be very good to take on the Lionesses.
About 2024, let me take you to Ivory Coast for the African Cup of Nations. A total of 23 countries will be joining host Ivory Coast for next year's edition of the Cup of Nations African prestigious tournament. And it looks like some players may be deprived because the FA Cup, which is coming up in January and February, some players will be expected back home to honor the national team. Do you expect the normal fighting between national teams and foreign clubs in the release of some players? We look at our own Osimhen. Will it be an easy one for Osimhen to come back for the Super Eagles? Highly missed in the 2 matches.
Well, this club versus country row on releasing of players is still going to, linger on, because I believe that the leadership of CAF hasn't put a stamp to it. And how do you go about putting a stamp to it? Is by, exerting authority on things like this. Clubs cannot come out to say they won't release players for the Africa Cup of Nations. Come on. It's an African, it's a continental fiesta where the best legs, the best, come out to see what Africa has got, to give. And you want to deprive the nations of their players because you're playing in the FA Cup or whatever competition you call it. It's unfair. I heard some comments made by the president of Napoli, Aurelio De Laurentiis, I beg your pardon, and it doesn't sit well with me. I think if the leadership of CAF, if the leadership of African football put a stamp to this, then we can see, a light at the end of the tunnel. But is it going to linger on to? Yes, I think it's going to linger on the route. On Nana too, there have been talks. He's not going to leave Man United, in January. But I don't think a club like United would be found wanting in areas like this about releasing players to represent their country. As I speak, Osimhen, I think after this weekend's matches, he'll be heading to Marrakesh for the CAF Awards as he's one of the nominees. I back him to win that award. It's been a long time coming since the Nigerian won that prestigious or coveted award. So I expect him to win. Asisat Oshola will be there to other Nigerian players who've been nominated in other categories will also be there too. So we're looking forward to it. So Mr. Clinton, I said this on the show one time ago that if the leadership of African football can put, a stamp
on board, David has been saying that the stamp is yet to fall on the paper. This is a very big challenge for the Confederation of African Football. His IR2 of the Republic of Cameroon was there. He couldn't achieve it. Hamed from Madagascar came on board as the president. He didn't achieve it. And today we have a South African heading the Confederation of African Football. And this has always been the battle in Africa every two years, where clubs will deprive them of the opportunity to have their teams on the national assignment. David looks to be still on the line. Hello, David. Are you there? All right, let's see if we can have David back. But just here in the studio, we have Aminu here with us. We are looking at the money that is in football and making football the king's game. Now, let's come back, of course, Aminu, and look at the Super Eagles. They have 6 points. 6 point opportunity was on the table for them to grab, but they failed to pick 6. They went ahead and picked only 2 points. You think this team can make it to the World Cup that is much expected? The prime of football is World Cup. And we were not in Qatar. The wound is still fresh in our minds, but this time the boys seems to have been let go 4 points out of 6.
Well, I feel we have the team to go to qualify. The last 2 games, you could see from the players' body, there was unseriousness. I felt that way. But I feel we have the calibers of players to qualify. And luckily for us, Rwanda did us a favor by beating South Africa. Yes, I call it a favor because if South Africa had won, they would have been 4 points ahead of us. But at least now they are 1 point ahead of us. We have Rwanda who are 2 points ahead of us. So there's still a big chance for us to qualify if we do well. And I hope the boys come back with all seriousness and win the remaining games. We have the capacity to beat everyone in the group and qualify for the World Cup.
And some say, is it true that we have individual players but still struggling to have a team? Do you agree on that?
Yes, I agree on that. From the gameplay, you see they play individualistic kind of football. Everyone wants to play his own kind of game. I feel their major issue, they bring the kind of football they play from their club side back to the national team. Well, I feel it's not supposed to be so. Once you are leaving your club side, you drop the football there. Every team has its own pattern of play. Once you come to the national team, adapt to the national team kind of play and play together as a team for the betterment of the team, and hopefully we'll do well going forward.
Hopefully we'll do well. Talking about the Super Eagles, who are just 2 points from 2 games. Our hope and our prayers was the team will lead that group with 6 points. Let's hope they'll be taking on Bafana home and away. That looks like a 6 straight point. If we do that, then there is hope that we'll bounce back to the FIFA World Cup, because we're not at the last edition. No thanks to the Black Stars of Ghana that denied Nigeria the much needed ticket for the FIFA World Cup. But the boys are in high spirit. Osimhen is back in action. It looks like no Osimhen, no Nigerian football. Are you of that opinion too?
Well, I'm not of that opinion, but currently now he's the face of our team because
he was in the game against Saudi Arabia, in which we played a draw. He was not in the game against Mozambique. But in the two in the 2 World Cup qualifiers, he was highly missed.
Yeah, you could see, okay, because probably Awoni was not fully fit, so we missed Osimhen. But Yeah, I agree. With him, we play much better. We bite forward. He's that kind of aggressive striker that puts the defenders on their toes. I feel with him, Boniface has a better chance of playing well because they link up very well. He presses well for him. Boniface retrieves the ball. They play together. So going forward, I feel if he comes back to the team, now that he's back from injury, I feel we are going to do better as a team, score more goals. He gives us the opportunity to score more goals. With him, we have, it's almost certain we have a goal. So he's one of the best players. Currently now, I think in the world, he's top 8. So for us, it's a blessing we have him in the national team.
Talking about Osimhen, who is among the top 5 for the CAF Awards. CAF Awards this weekend. We hope that Nigeria will be crowned. It could be another time for us to see the likes of Papilo Kaniwanko, Daniel Amokachi coming back through Osimhen. But we are told that David is back on the line, and we go straight to take David to give us an answer to one question that we'll be looking. Hello, David. Welcome back on Global TV.
Yeah, many thanks, Mr. Clinton. Thank you so much.
We were looking at so much money is being put in Nigerian football domestic league, and Global TV is also providing the much needed fund to support the National League. What's your take if we grabbed the National League in the country as one of the media houses to beam the Nigeria domestic league to the international globe?
Well, it's a welcome development, which is commendable. You know, our league has been left, unattended to when it comes to the branding, the publicity which everyone desires. Yes, we cannot lose European football conference, but what we have, we need to use it well. So it's very key.
But let's come back here in the studio and tell you that Premier League leaders, Arsenal will host Liverpool in one of, we can't continue with David. Premier League leaders, Arsenal will host Liverpool in one of their standout ties in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Elsewhere, Sunderland will face Newcastle in a tiny-way derby at the Stadium of Light, and holders Manchester City will entertain Huddersfield Town. Manchester City will visit 2023 winners Wigan Athletic, while Tottenham will host Burnley, and Everton will travel to Crystal Palace. The 3rd round will be played between 5th and 8th January, that's 2024. Look at the FA Cup draws that were conducted. You want to see Chelsea in action because you look to be a Chelsea fan. Am I right?
Of course, I'm a Chelsea fan, though we are having what's some kind of season. But
where are you on the table now?
10th, where we've always been seen.
You're not back, you're not front.
We're
not
moving backward, we are just in 10th. Hopefully we'll progress. Hopefully we'll progress.
Okay, let's look at Manchester City. With a slight of certain points from them and struggling with 3 points different from Arsenal, who are topping. Do you think we'll have a new leader this time around in the English Premier League?
The season looks so. Currently now, Arsenal are good. Liverpool are proving to be good also. But we can't write Man City off. They've always shown that towards the end of the season, they come back stronger. And looking at currently now, they are missing the likes of De Bruyne, and we know how important he is to the team. So we can't write Man City off. But Arsenal look better than last season. For me, then last season they played well, but I feel now they are a mature team, having experienced what happened to them last season. So hopefully they take corrections and perform better. Me as a person, I don't want Arsenal to win the league because I'm a Chelsea fan, but they are proving to be a good team this season. And hopefully this season...
In the spirit of sportsmanship, you should allow anyone to win and to rule the game.
Yeah. But hopefully this season, I'm hoping that we'll see a new winner. I'm tired of seeing Man City dominate the league.
Hopefully we'll have a new winner, but I am doubting if it will be Chelsea, because Chelsea are just 10th on the league. And Arsenal seems to be heading somewhere. They are occupying the #1 place in the English Professional Football League. That's how far we can go on today's edition of the program, TalkSport, right here on Global TV, Abuja. Today's dedication was on the sponsorship of our domestic league. I want to say a very big thank you to talking about StarTime and, of course, Global TV taking on the second development league in the country, talking about the National League. Until we come your way again, we want to say a very big thank you. And, of course, my guest here in the studio, Mr. Minu, thank you very much for finding time to be with us.
Thank you for having me today.
And I also need to say a very big thank you to Mr. David, who joined us all the way on live this morning. Talk Sports, it's a production of Global TV right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. Join us sometime tomorrow for another fresh edition of the program. Until then, do have a wonderful sporting day ahead of you. My name is Clinton Agbo. Enjoy the rest of the day.